Hello, this is Dr. Dave Gaitros again, and we'd like to continue on with our formatting on a Mac using Microsoft Word. Right now, we'd like to go through and do table of figures, inserting pictures and tables and captions, headers and footers. So the very first thing to do is let's go ahead and put in a picture. I'm going to put in a picture right here. Go up Insert, and I want to take it from a file, picture from a file, and view from Boulder. Okay, the picture I took was in Boulder, Colorado. Very pretty. Okay, I'm going to resize it. Now I want you to notice that I'm just using the mouse to resize it, grabbing the corners up there. I can actually go to the home page here and change it to center or right justification or left justification, just using the regular formatting tabs that's used on text because it's in line with the text itself. Now I can go into the picture format itself, and there's some interesting things to do here. Okay, we can do several things. For instance, artistic effects. We can actually change it to pick that, and let's go and do a few more. That's kind of interesting. I have this put right here, and you can actually go through and change some of the formats and make it look a little bit different. You can change the transparency of it, wash it out a little bit. There's some quick styles to show you. You can put little borders around it. That's kind of good too. Now the one that's really nice, and you can actually put a border around it, put a black border around it, and shadow effect. The shadow, yeah, there's a nice shadow effect. That's great. All right, now arrangement. This is what's really interesting. You can do a text wrap. Okay, so let's bring down the text wrap, and this allows you to actually format the text to go around it or through it or around the side. This was an inline text right here. This is what square looks like, and you notice it goes around over to the side. Let's see, this is tight. This is through, and this is actually top and bottom. Okay. Okay, so we'll just go back to inline text. That's more, and you can actually turn it, rotate it. So that's very good. That's once the picture is in there. Now the other thing you really want to look at is a caption. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the Control key and click on the picture with the mouse, and you'll see here is Insert Caption. It comes up with figure 1, and that's just the format that it's going to use. The number will be replaced by a sequence of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The label is either equation, figure, sample code, or table. You can actually put your new label, a new label in there and call it something else, but it must have one. And you can depict whether it's going to be above or below. I usually like to put mine above, but styles may vary. All right, say I'm going to say view from Boulder. Okay, say okay. Ta-da. Okay, now that just inserts a text box, and you can go and you can change that formatting if you like, and it will remain the same. But here's what's interesting. We can go up here, and we've seen on previous that we put in an automated table of contents. I'm going to insert a page break here. Page break. And I'm going to go to references, and you'll see right here is table of figures, okay, along with insert caption, but table of figures, okay. And what do you want it to look like? Well, there's a classic style right here, so we're going to do it like that. Include label numbers, show page numbers. We'll say okay, and everything that we've used that caption tool on is now part of the list of figures, and it's a very, very good way to go through and get a list of figures without actually doing a lot of manual work. Now I want to caution you about something. Okay, be sure that whenever you go through your document, put the figures in, that whenever you do that caption tool, you do them in order, because changing that order takes a little bit of work. So if there's done in the order, the numbers show up properly, and you don't have a problem. Renumbering them tends to be kind of more of a little trial. Well, now let's go on. I want to do tables. Okay, so I'll insert a table, I'm just going to insert one here and just a little table. And you notice that it fills up the entire width of the page. And we can change that. Now when you highlight the table, and we're going to change the whole table format, be sure that you keep the cursor inside the table. If I go beyond here, I'm outside the table, and what I'm going to do now wouldn't work. So move it back inside. I'm going to press the control key, and I'm going to press this, and I'm going to say table properties. Again, I want to make sure that I'm inside the table when I do that. So table properties. The first thing I want to show you is, of course, I can do a line, left, center, and right, and do text wrapping just like I can a picture. But you have to do it inside here. I can do borders and shading. I can change the shading of the borders of these cells I have highlighted. I can do that with. I can do a border. I can do a 3D border. Say OK. But what I want to show you here is the column. Now notice that I got the preferred width is 2.16. That's because I've got 3 columns and it fills the whole page, and it divides the size of the columns amongst the 3. I take that off, and you notice that it shrinks it back down to just a single space. So that allows me to enter in the text. Let's see, did I get it in there? Yeah. Put in a column header. I'm going to hit a tab key. Second header, tab key, and third header. Okay. Now if I hit enter, I'm going to hit it right here after the R. You notice that that carriage return stays within that cell. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I'll show you a couple other things. I'm going to merge these cells right here. Okay, and there's a few ways to do it. This way is I'm going to press the control key and then click on that cells in there, and I can say merge cells. Okay, let me do it down here, and I'm going to say merge cells again. I'm going to press the control key and hit the button, the mouse button, to say merge cells. Now notice that when I hit tab down here, it inserts another line, but it inserts the line based upon the formatting of the one it was on. So these cells are just still merged, and I said, well, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to unmerge them. So I press the control key and click on it again, and it says split cells. How many columns do you want? You say 3, and we're back there. Now you'll notice that it has changed the formatting a little bit. You may have to adjust these lines a little bit, but that's working with cells. Let's go ahead and let's highlight the top cell here. I'm going to highlight and then click the control key and then the button and say table properties, borders and shadings. Go to table, borders and shadings. I want to do shading, and I'll pick a little charcoal background. There we go. Okay. And the formats up there are also controlled by the home key. I can center the headers in there, and I can bold and italicize, underline, do everything I can inside of that. Okay, well, the last thing to do is headers and footers. Normally when I do a Word document, it's on a page print layout, and so it looks like what it's going to print out. So to get the header and footer, there's actually a couple of ways to actually do this. I can actually go up here and say look, view headers and footers, and it puts me in that mode, or I can actually just click in the header and footer themselves, and I can type in anything I want here, and it works. The other thing I can do is up here I can say different first page, which means that this won't show up on the first page if I'm not on the first page, and I'm not. I'll go down here to the footer and click in the footer portion of it. Okay. Oops. Okay. View footers. And let's say that I want to, let's say, do something like that. Put it in a footer. I can also go to design and or header footer, and I can say insert a page number. Okay. Let's say center. Okay, and you see the page number right there. If you want to, you can actually click on that and actually put in some text in front of it. All right, that's headers and footers and captions, pictures, and tables. Um, uh, View this as many times as you need, and thank you for watching my videos.